Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Canadian Bombshell Beauties Coffee Klatch podcast. I am your host, Nikki, and thank you so much for understanding for our little hiatus. I really appreciate everybody's support, and we are back on track. So, to give you a little bit of a recap, episode 1 and 2, we talked with some of the Canadian contestants that were competing in Miss Home Sweet Home and we had a few Canadians that made it into the top 10. So on March 20th, they competed live, and so proud to say that Dandy Delish, not only did she get Girl Next Door, but she got first runner up, and also Good Guy Rye. Vintage Vera and Goldie Delight all got top 10 fundraisers. Our Canadians did such an amazing job and really trying to help out these small businesses and organizations that have been affected by COVID. It has just been an insane year. I can't even believe, as an RN, what this year has unfolded. So, what these small businesses have gone through and organizations, any little help that they can get is definitely appreciated. So, if you haven't checked out the show, make sure you do. It is on YouTube, and I will post the links and sit back, have a drink, and enjoy a live pinup show because we have not seen anything live in forever. This week, we catch up with Jen Kaboom, owner of New World Designs in Vancouver, BC. And for joining us, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank
I'm
you for
excited to be here.
and you have a guest too with you.
Oh, yeah, I've got a shadow beside me all the time. This is Morty, my dog. He's a very good boy. He doesn't come to the shop with me, though. Nobody wants dog hair all over their clothes or, an 80-pound dog greeting them.
Well, some may. The dog greeting part for sure.
Hard to say. He's a little invasive.
Yeah. So Jen, just kind of tell our listeners all about you and kind of how your journey into the pinup community started.
All right. Well, my name is Jen Kaboom. That's what I go by. I guess you could say I was a pinup model for a number of years. I got my start kind of like doing pinup pageants at like tattoo shows and car shows and all that. And then I kind of took a step back from competing and then I started hosting them. So that was a good time. Meanwhile, while I was doing all of the shoots and whatnot, I was working very part-time at a pinup store in Vancouver called New World Designs. I was always the Sunday girl, and I would work there in order to afford the clothing that I needed for my photo shoots. So let's fast forward, let's say 8 years into the future. And the owner of New World approached me and said, Len, I really want to retire. I absolutely love the life that you have breathed into this shop. Would you like to take over? And I jumped at it. I was like, of course, I can't see this store just fall apart. This is the pinup destination for all the pinups in Vancouver and surrounding area. And I can't let it just go away because somebody wanted to retire. So I took it over. I moved locations, kind of rebranded, put my own spin on it. And 4 years later, here I am. New World Designs is still going strong, and we survived the apocalypse of COVID. Which
Wow.
was scary.
What a way to
scary.
What a way to get thrown into it.
Yeah. Like nobody gives you a handbook when you open a business saying this is how to survive a worldwide pandemic. So it was definitely a lot of adapting to get where I am currently and maintaining everything I have currently.
Good for you. My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have pushed a lot of online, and your presence online has really been much since COVID. That's for sure. I love the outfit every day is great.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, something prior to COVID, I didn't have an online store to begin with. It was strictly brick and mortar because I know I'm so behind on the times and I should have listened to everybody before, but I couldn't justify paying downtown Vancouver rent prices to have people not come in and just shop at home. It just made no sense to me. So, bam, I have to shut down the store because everything's going on. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I have all of this inventory. So I just started literally posting everything on Instagram. And instead of like my meticulously curated posts, it was literally like purse $48, shoes size 8, because it was like fight or flight mode. I had no idea if I was even going to be able to reopen the shop. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to get all of this product out? And then I was like, okay, it's time for an actual online store, because people were literally just blindly sending me e-transfers and I was mailing them things like
just hoping for the best.
Right. But that's how you know that you have a great sense of community, when people instill that much trust in you, just to say, here, send me some stuff.
Now,
and, yeah, here we are 1 year later, and I now have the domain of pinupcanada.com, and online sales are going phenomenally.
Awesome. Now, with that must have been a huge struggle because, of course, anybody knows Canada, Vancouver and Toronto are your two highest cost of living for rent or anything. So
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know about your government. I know BC has really kind of done very well with COVID, considering. So did you guys have some support or some relief or anything to help with rent or?
There are and were programs in place. Thankfully, I was okay that I didn't really need to take advantage of a lot of those services that were being offered. I, of course, did take advantage of the small business loan, like the initiative to get everybody back on their feet, and that was very helpful. But as for rent, I was thankfully able to pay it every single month, and that was fine. And then with the CERB, the CERB, I was thankful for that for myself, because I could keep my business going, but I wasn't able to pay myself a cent. So very, very thankful for our Canadian government and doing what they do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, good for you,
But
hun.
yeah, as for rent relief, like it was offered for everybody that needed it. But again, I didn't want to take advantage of something that I didn't need, because that's not the type of person I am. So
Well, and again, like everybody's trying to survive. So, if you're able to survive and that helps somebody else kind of survive a month or two more, then, I think we're all just we're trying to survive this all together, right?
absolutely. The toughest part was, being able to make the ends meet, but not really bring in new inventory. So it's like, what is happening with this? People want new and fresh. And of course, that's an obstacle, because almost everything I bring in comes from the UK, and they were way worse than us for a while. Like, it's all just kind of a wheel of, you misfortune. Let's just call it
Right.
that.
Exactly. It was just a domino effect of, one thing happens. So, well,
Yeah.
good for you. And I
Yeah.
know with a lot of you guys, a lot of girls who had the brick and mortar had to just kind of go online and like you, again, forced to kind of go online that didn't have it online before. So it really has been a learning curve. So how do you like doing online now?
Right. Um, you know what? It's fun, but it's not as exciting. I love seeing customers come in and seeing the smiles on their face when they put on the clothes that they feel so good in. You just kind of miss out with that when you're just mailing somebody something.
That's true. That's true.
So like it's fun, and there are personal touches. I send absolutely everybody a thank you card and some swag and all that, just to make up for the excitement of being in store, but it's not the same. I would honestly just love it if everybody would always continue to come into the shop. But now being online, I do have that reach of new customers all across the country. So that's also pretty great.
Exactly, exactly. So that's good. Now, are you open, or is the store back open a little bit? Like, are you limited to?
Was closed down and boarded up for 8 entire weeks. And that was super duper scary because I didn't know what it was going to look like when I reopened. Some new protocols had to be put into effect. I could only allow 5 people in the store at a time. So therefore, my door always remains locked, which, isn't the most inviting thing. But I think now that we're in this new normal of people kind of expecting to ring a doorbell or give a knock to get in, people are kind of getting used to it now. But my hours definitely have changed a little bit. Since I had to keep my door locked, I didn't want to be open after dark. So I started closing at 5:30 because you don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm also closed on Sundays now, but that's okay because Sundays were always a bit of a snoozer anyways. And now with being online, that kind of offsets, the loss, if you will, of being closed one day. But yeah, things are kind of back to a normal-ish state. Obviously, there's way more online sales now than foot traffic, which is, a bit of a bummer because I like to see everybody's smiling faces. But, as long as New World Designs is still a thing and I can deliver the best goods to all the pinup gals out there, that's really all I can do. So.
Now, because you've had a little bit of downtime, have you done anything crazy during this lockdown or anything like that? Made some crazy cinnamon buns or whatever.
Honestly, I hustled harder during that 8 weeks than taking time to relax because I was getting absolutely everything online. Like I said, fight or flight.
Right.
So definitely got to spend a lot more time with my dog. He liked that. And I guess I became a bit more of a crazy plant lady.
I was going to say, yeah, you definitely have quite the greenery behind you.
I've got a house jungle. It's great. So.
Oh goodness. Now that are you going to kind of keep the Sundays closed if things kind of go back to a little bit of a norm and kind of take advantage of that and keep that time to yourself?
You know what? I think I might because having that one day of downtime it's necessary for everybody's mental health, mine especially. Yeah, but my spring hours starting tomorrow, because I guess tomorrow or today is the spring solstice. Happy spring. I will be open a half an hour later every night, so 11 until 6 p.m. And then Saturdays are still going to be noon to 5. But yeah, I think I'll remain closed on Sundays. It gives us all some time to, be our best selves.
And if COVID has taught us anything, that self-care is very, very important.
Oh, 100%.
Now, is there anything that you want to add or anything to our listeners?
Well, first of all, thank you for listening. I'm honored that you would want to interview me and that your listeners would want to hear from me. So that's kind of cool. Um, I don't know, just keep pursuing your passions. If pinup is your thing, do it. I love it. It's the happiest thing in the world. I've never seen an angry pinup girl, like in a bad way.
And you guys have
I was just gonna say,
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to say pinups just radiate positivity. So.
And you guys have such a great community in Vancouver, BC, like in Alberta. You guys are just popping up everywhere.
Yeah, I know Goldie's been doing a great job with the West Coast pinups. I believe there's some pinup chapters on Vancouver Island. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and yeah, even central BC, like the Okanagan, there's pinup pageants that go on there, and it's just cool.
Yeah, now we just need the events to happen again.
Now we just need the events, and hopefully with, restrictions kind of easing up, maybe car shows will be a thing this summer, maybe some pinup pageants.
Now, is that something that when they have the car shows and everything, do you normally set up a booth at those events, or do you just kind of go?
I haven't personally yet with New World Designs. I set up pop-up booths at actually a few like smaller events around the city.
Okay.
Um, yeah, like I it's kind of random, but I sponsor a lot of the wrestling events. I sell tickets for them at the shop,
That's
and
amazing.
it's really fun. It's like lucha. It's they have ones called Glam Slam. It's like burlesque meets wrestling. Like it's really cool.
Okay, I
So
have to Google that when we get done
oh,
this.
they're cool. So I've set up booths at those events and whatnot. Um, but yeah, back to car shows and stuff. I've always just gone as like a spectator, basically, to take it in and dress up and take some pictures next to some classic cars.
Now, have you, I know you've been involved in pinup in the past and in pinup contest. Have you ever hosted or have you been a judge in a contest before?
I've never judged, but I've hosted two or three pinup pageants. Actually, the very first one I hosted, Goldie was the winner. Oh no, that was the second one. The very first one, Ellie Mayday was the winner.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
sweet.
that was back in 2012.
My
Yeah,
goodness
yeah,
gracious
we
sakes.
became fast friends, and actually through the shop, I donate a ton to Ovarian Cancer Canada in her memory.
Oh,
There's
nice.
certain items with certain tags that 15% of the sale of each of those items goes directly to OCC.
Oh,
So
that's great. Good for
yeah,
her. That's
yeah.
amazing.
So I'm
And,
also a fundraiser at heart. So
oh, so much for joining us. I wish you all the best, and I can't wait to hopefully when things get cleared up to make a trip up there and visit you in person and check out the
oh,
store.
that would be so great.
I would love it.
Thank
Well,
you so much for having me.
thank you, sweetheart. You take care of yourself and have a great day.
You too. Bye
Okay, be
bye.
safe. Bye bye. Oh my goodness, Jen is such an amazing person. And as a special little thank you for listening, she has given our listeners a 10% code to save online. So enter CBB10 and that'll save you 10% for the month of May. Thank you, Jen. We really appreciate it. Next week, we will be chatting with some of our CBB members who have been on the front lines during COVID. Thanks so much for joining us and have a great week. Take care.